leading up to the premiere of the third season, I kind of went back just to refresh my memory and watched some parts of the first and the second season. And something that I'd forgotten from the first season, I remember from the second, was this thing with Crown and this record label, where I remember the back and forth between him and Lulu in the second season, and then ultimately RAQ kind of putting things in motion for her to really take over Bulletproof Records, right? Where she kind of put the battery in Lou's back to go after Crown, right? And then only to have him turn around and realize that RAQ had worked out her own deal with Crown, where in Lulu killing Crown, it then cleared the path for RAQ to really take control of the label. But I remembered all of that. But going back to the first season, I had forgotten how it was that Lulu ended up getting an ownership stake in Bulletproof Records. If you remember, in the first season, it's like maybe the 7th or 8th episode or something like that, Lulu shows up at the studio with his lawyer and clears the room where it's now just Crown, Lulu, and the lawyer. And, you know, the lawyer had drawn up some papers and whatnot where leading up to that, going back to even like the showcase, Lulu had been paying for little things, paying off like the lighting guy, paying off for this, paying off for that. And Crown was like taking the money. Initially, RAQ even mentioned it like, you know, like you're spending all of this money and whatnot on this music stuff and whatnot. And it was like the beginning of the issues between them. But then we saw that like Lulu wasn't just giving Crown the money just to be nice, right? He was kind of luring him in, getting him into debt with himself. And it's this thing that plays out, even going back before that to one of the earlier episodes where Jukebox learned that Famous, his sister, well, it had been arranged for Famous to get some studio time. And here it is that Lou had a relationship with Crown and hadn't done the same for Jukebox, right? And Lou mentions this thing of not asking people for favors, right? Because it creates problems for you. It puts that person in a position of having ownership over you. And so we saw that then play out with Lou paying for things for Crown, extending basically credit to Crown, right? Crown getting into debt with Lulu, then paved the way for Lulu to strong arm him into this partnership agreement, right? And it's really unclear what has taken place, but what we see with Crown and RAQ, where Crown, not learning his lesson from Lou, goes to RAQ, complaining to RAQ about Lulu, but really asking RAQ for a favor to get Lulu out of the business. And it's like, she does that for him, but he instead gets into business with RAQ instead, and we see that RAQ moves him out of the business as well. And at the end of the second season, in the final episode, we see the confrontation between RAQ and Lulu, where RAQ comes out and pretty much tells Lulu that he owes her, you know, and that as a result of that, everything that he has is hers. And this is this thing that we've heard her repeat throughout the show. Everything he has, he owes to her. And basically she told him that she owns him because of everything she's done and given to him. Now, we see that like Lulu kind of, up until probably the second season, functioned as RAQ's right-hand man until like the tensions began between them in like the first season. But it's unclear what exactly. So with that, you would think that like RAQ kind of owes him, or they're indebted to each other, which would then cancel out this debt. But it raises the question of what happened in the past, or what has RAQ done for Lulu that makes her feel as though he owes her. And not just that he owes her, but that she in turn owns him. And so I actually, you know, I kind of felt sorry for Lulu when he, like, RAQ makes him cry and whatnot. He's like this tough guy, and like RAQ is like like the mean bullying older sister that makes him cry, which is kind of, again, this thing of who people are out in the streets and then who they are at home, where it's like you got your sister running you. But it's like, I remember feeling sorry for him at the end of the second season when, you know, RAQ was like being mean to him and made him cry. But then I rewatched the episode with him and Crown, where not just that he brought the lawyer, it would have been one thing if like he brought the lawyer and the paperwork, it was like, okay, well now sign this, you know, and give me a stake in ownership in the company because you now own me. Where it wasn't just that, this like legal thing, but he actually like passive aggressively pulled out a gun on Crown and told Crown that like, you can, like something of yours is going to end up on this paper. It's either going to be your signature or it's going to be your blood. And it's like, looking at it, I was like, you know, that's kind of dirty, man. And whatever sympathy I had for him because of RAQ making him cry, like that went out the window. I was like, you know what, you got what you deserve, Lulu, because you did the same thing to Crown. And this is just chickens coming home to roost, right? Like you created the situation. And RAQ did to you what you did to Crown. So I don't feel sorry for you. Tough nookies.